Hello, class. Today we're going to go into the history of manufacturing. Please pay attention to this video and the lesson notes. There will be a quiz on this material at the end of next week. In this lesson, we're going to go into the need for manufacturing, a brief history of it, some key figures to help bring about how manufacturing looks today, and some different examples of the manufacturing process. Manufacturing accounts for about 12% of the U.S.'s GDP, and it employs about 8% of the U.S. workforce. Manufacturing began with artisans prior to the 19th century. You had people who were craftsmen, whether that craft be carpentry, masonry, especially like stone masonry, or if you were a blacksmith, or you work with some other type of material to create something. Most products were handmade. Now, prior to the 19th century, you also had one person that became famous. His name was Eli Whitney. This is very important. Eli Whitney invented the cotton gin, you know. However, he went bankrupt due to many of his poor business skills. But how he became famous was he took on the job of mass producing muskets, which led to the invention of the milling machine. And he realized that he needed to break the production process down to smaller parts that would not require a great deal of skill. Hiring skilled employees not only costs a lot of money, but they're hard to find. So what we decided to do was break the process down that you didn't need people who were as skilled, but they would needed to be skilled enough to just complete one part of the process. So he came up with the idea of interchangeable parts. And he had the revolutionary idea that workers of the factory should be treated well and with respect. And that idea did not catch on in a lot of American factories. Early 1900s, you also had Henry Ford. Henry Ford introduced assembly line manufacturing and a significant increase in production efficiency. He also did not need artisans to complete his work, so he used a lot of unskilled workers. Ford's idea was that manufacturing could be sped up if the assembly process was broken down to smaller parts so the unskilled laborers could be used. Ford had early problems with his labor force, however, because the repetitive nature of menial tasks lowered morale. The work was dangerous. Many of his employees were injured. Ford stabilized his workforce by more than doubling the pay. In the beginning, he was paying $2.25 a day, and he raised that to $5 a day, so he doubled their pay. And the happy workforce soon began to crank up production within a single day. And because production cranked up, the price per car dropped to $300 per car. Ford Motor was responsible, fun fact, was responsible for the first human death by a robot in 1979 when a worker was hit in the head by a robotic arm. Now we have a lot of different laws and unions to prevent such deaths. Henry Ford's vehicle was low cost but reliable and easy to maintain, and that's another reason why he's very famous. Later on, after Henry Ford, Kiichiro Toyota created lean manufacturing. And he also came up with the concept of Kaizen, and we'll talk about Kaizen, which means good change or improvement. He focused on 5 areas: cost, quality, delivery, safety, and morale. Toyota was the founder of the Toyota Motor Company, and he developed just-in-time manufacturing. In this manufacturing process, manufacturers buy the parts they need as the need arises, which saves money from handling parts in-house. Toyota also introduced the idea of Kaizen, which allows for continuous improvement and employee input. If an employee who is working on the factory floor realizes there's an easier way to complete a process, they're rewarded for speaking up. and it helps the company out and all others involved. Lean manufacturing is the systematic elimination of waste. It makes your process more efficient. Throughout the mid 1900s, you had Jarvis B. Webb Company creates the first electronically coordinated conveyor system. These conveyor systems Henry Ford used to use to build his cars. And they have continued to work on their conveyor systems and offer a wide variety of conveyor systems. Manufacturing today, we have better technology. So now you have automatic storage and retrieval systems. We have automated guided vehicles. We have artificial intelligence, machines that learn from experience. And they can problem solve on their own. We have computer integrated manufacturing, which is a company-wide management philosophy of planning, integration, and implementation of automation. You plan the process that you want the computer to complete for you, and you program your computers to complete your processes more efficiently. The manufacturing enterprise wheel, which you'll see on your bottom right, focuses on 6 things of the manufacturing process, 6 major components. First of all, everything is customer centered. You'll see that in the center of this enterprise wheel. And the enterprise wheel we will go more in depth with next week. After focusing on the customer, the people who work for the company, and the teamwork that is involved in creating the product is your next focus. Workers have to be trained, and the more knowledge they have, the better they work together. So they have to have a shared knowledge of the processes needed to make the products. Your next focus should be on the key processes to create your product. The process itself, manufacturing components, and the support for your customers. After that, the resources and responsibilities of the corporation. And then finally, the infrastructure of the company itself. Whether that be brick and mortar, whether that be the machines that you're working with in the process. Other processes that help us out and help manufacturing today. Kaizen, Japanese word for improvement, based on continuous improvement by everyone. They have flexible manufacturing systems, which adapts efficiently to change needing, possibly increasing productivity by 50%. You have just-in-time manufacturing, the Toyota production system, apply automotive manufacturing, employs lean production strategies. Lean manufacturing, like I said before, systematic elimination of waste. Make your factory system more efficient. This is a video on lean manufacturing. I have that posted also in this same lesson. Please watch it. Six Sigma, the strategy that indicates a measure of quality for near perfection, produces fewer than 3.4 defects per million opportunities, identifies and corrects causes of defects. Six Sigma is used in a lot of manufacturing companies. Helps to produce your products more efficiently and helps to eliminate errors in the process. Now that we have technology, you have a few other areas to help us with manufacturing, like rapid prototyping, such as 3D printing, laser sintering. You also have work cell, which is manufacturing resources arranged into a group. A lot of times, if you have different Machines, you want to put them together in a work cell so that way they can all work with each other. You can have conveyor belts moving through them, moving the process right along. Manufacturers now also have to deal with the work envelope of their robots. Many of these robots have robotic arms, and they're only able to do work with inside of a certain range. This range is called your work envelope. The degrees of freedom that the robotic arms can move, and the range of motion that the robotic arms can move and complete a task. This is the history of manufacturing and how manufacturing is working today.